If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Welcome to You Had Me At Podcast, where we fall in love with romantic comedies all over again, 1 decade at a time. I'm Jess Sterling. Today we are doing my 1980s rom-com pick, Say Anything. And of course, I am joined by my co-host, who is only here because he needs someone, not just because he needs me, Stuart!
You had to quote that.
Yeah,
the one line that I messaged you going, ew. No, not a fan of that. Outrageous.
I had to.
You could have gone with anything. Give me my Firebird keys. Like anything.
No, that was the one. That was the one I had to do. Before we jump into it, before we get too far, don't forget to subscribe. You Had Me At Podcast. Follow us on social media. You Had Meat Pod. And of course, follow us on YouTube as well. You Had Meat Pod over there as well. We have an email also, Stuart. If people want to send in a message, make any recommendations, really, stuff the ballot box in terms of what they want us to cover, You Had Meat Pod at gmail.com. That's where you can find us. So I'm really stoked to be here today. I'm really stoked to talk about this film. It's a classic. It's an iconic film. Listen, whether you love it or you hate it, it is iconic.
Yeah, I certainly get the iconicness. Like there's some imagery from it that is just so pervasive in like the big sphere of media in general. And I'm surprised that it's one that I've not seen. Because generally I kind of think I've seen like the main iconic films that are out there, especially like 80s ones. So this was a real blind spot for me. So yeah, it's good to tick it off, but also we'll just do the whole caveat. I mean, there's a reason why we're reviewing these through the decades is we kind of want to see how they change over the years. And if you think that I'm going to be measuring this with a sense of nostalgia for the old ones, no, they ain't getting a pass. Yeah. If this shit has red flags and is problematic, I'm going to be calling it out because, by God, there was some stuff in this one, and we will get to it.
Yeah. I really can't wait to talk about the red flag stuff because. So we'll have some graphics later on. We have segments. We're going to talk specifically about red flags. And I had always imagined in the red flag segment, in my brain, just because men, I was like, oh, we'll rate the men on how toxic they are. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute, though. What if the women are also toxic? We'll get into it. But
it's the time. I mean, you can say it was the men. I mean, it's the patriarchy that ultimately is probably influencing all of the behaviors at play here. So ultimately, I mean, blame can and probably should be apportioned to the men. But equally, I mean, back in the 80s, I mean, maybe shit was just a little bit, not quite as up to scratch as probably what I'd say we should be. We'll put it delicately like that.
Yes. So before we jump too far into it, in case you haven't rewatched this movie, I know it's a little bit hard to get a hold of. I'm going to give you a little recap here at the top. If you're joining us from Talking Shit, you're used to this. You get it. So here's a little recap of Say Anything. Underachiever Lloyd Dobler has just graduated high school and has his eye on valedictorian and daddy's girl Diane Court. Lloyd has no plans for his future except, Diane. Diane, meanwhile, plans to leave for England at the end of the summer for a prestigious fellowship. And obviously, she will be spending all summer with her rich father. Things change when Diane falls for Lloyd's charm between teaching her to drive stick and driving his stick, if you know what I mean. Diane is smitten as a kitten with Lloyd. Her father, of course, doesn't approve because he doesn't deem her worthy of her attention. Meanwhile, Daddy Warbucks is being investigated for tax fraud, and it turns out that he has been embezzling funds from the retirees in the retirement home that he owns. Diane is torn between following her father's orders and her love for Lloyd, but ultimately ends things with Lloyd, who reacts by standing in the rain and calling her nonstop. His friend Corey, who has her own obsession with an ex, which we will talk about, tells him to be a man and basically chase her. This culminates in the famous boombox scene where Lloyd stands outside her window holding a boombox over his head, blasting In Your Eyes by Phil Collins, and she reacts by doing nothing. Eventually, Diane is confronted with the fact that her dirtbag father is indeed stealing from old people, and she goes back to Lloyd telling her she loves him and she needs him, even though he suspects that she doesn't necessarily need him, but just a warm body to hug. He leaves with her to go to England, but not before stopping by to see old Daddy Warbucks and the Clinker, who still disapproves of their relationship, by the way. My guy should not be throwing stones. And they set off on the plane to England. Stuart, that's our film.
I mean, when you say it all like that, sounds like a good film. Sounds like just like really low stakes in the sense that really the only main conflict is just Daddy doesn't quite approve, and she's torn between, the inevitability of going to England and like kind of that summer ending. So I kind of like the fact that we do have some low stakes. How the hell they padded this out for an hour and 45, I'll never know. Like, that's outrageous.
Yeah, I do think we could have. I'm a big fan of like an hour and a half film. I do think we could have trimmed 15 minutes somewhere along the way. There's a lot I do love about this movie, and I do think I am predisposed to enjoy it for reasons such as I do have nostalgia for it as I watched it when I was like the preteen age, and I love John Cusack. I love specifically 80s John Cusack and like the rom com John Cusack. So I was predisposed to enjoy this. I did feel a little like it ran a little too long, and I think we spent a little bit too much time on Diane's dad and like all the problems he has. Like, I'm like, what, can we get back to the rom-com? Why are we hanging out with this rich dad? Why are we doing that?
This like financial thriller that they wanted it to like possibly be. And really it's just a simple, dude was stealing from old people that were dying and he was just taking them money that was left over.
Yeah.
That was I think a jarring thing for me, because in one part I kind of saw his point is that he is the one that's caring for them, and he does seem to be quite attentive. Like, he's not ripping these people off by the sounds of it. Like, he was providing them with decent care. He just wanted to get paid for it.
Yeah, he's not entitled to steal all of their money. Like, they are paying to live there, so they're paying for the services he is providing. I don't think it's too much to ask that you actually treat people well when they're paying to live somewhere. He's just stealing all their money and buying things like $9,000 jukeboxes with said money. So it is wild. I don't quite know why. We're never really told why Diane chooses to live with her father when her parents get divorced. It seems like
felt safer, she said, I think, if I remember rightly, which was like a really kind of woolly. They didn't really jump into it that much detail. It was just a throwaway line, and I was just like, that had some juice behind it, surely. Like, especially considering they cast the mother and had a whole scene with that. I was like, that was a bit of a throwaway thing.
Yeah. So we don't really know beyond, again, like you said, she feels safer. She seems to be like a bit of a daddy's girl. She loves her father. She like idolizes him. It's the reason she ends up breaking things off with Lloyd, is because she knows she's going to go to England. They're living on borrowed time, essentially. And he's the one who tells her to give him the pen, which is in my opinion, one of the most iconic lines from the movie is, I gave her my heart and she gave me a pen.
When he's just crying, like he's in the rain, but he's at a phone booth and he's like half hanging out of it so he can be in the rain and be sadder when the whole like scene. Oh, it's ridiculous. I gave her my heart. She gave me a pen.
It's so good.
Much.
You have to have a rain moment in any good rom-com. It's necessary. But I want to ask you, because we talked a little bit about her father and kind of all of that nonsense. I want to ask you how you felt about our leads. How do you feel about Lloyd and Diane as characters? Like, did you like either one of them, both of them, neither of them?
It's weird. I mean, Lloyd is instantly lovable, right? Because immediately he's charming. Like certainly seems wiser than she is. Probably because I'm guessing I don't know John Cusack's age when they filmed this, but I mean he looks older than what he's playing. I think. It could also be the fact that I've only ever known John Cusack as like in his 40s, and I always just assume that he is never
Yeah.
really aged.
So
like,
John
in The
Cusack was
Sims.
23, or
Okay.
maybe 22 when this was filmed.
But
Yeah.
he does have this like I don't know like wizened face. I kind of feel like he looks older than everyone around him. But yeah, he's so charming and seems to be like even immediately like he's kind of goofing around with Corey and immediately I feel like I'm on this guy's side. He's a bit of a what was it like he's one of the alternative kids, but he's not a complete washout. Like he actually like does have some substance to him, and so I
Yeah.
kind of liked him immediately. Completely disliked her immediately. I was just like, oh, okay, cookie cutter. Here we go.
Well,
No
here's my
complexity.
argument. I don't actually think she's cookie cutter. I think they do something different with Diane, because here's the thing, right? Like you said,
Mhm.
Lloyd is very much like alternative kind of a guy. He's a bit of a loser when it comes to like, he has a lot of friends, it seems, but he's
Yeah.
a little bit like an underachiever. He's a bit of a loser in terms of school. He doesn't really have plans for his future. His family is a bit splintered. He lives with his sister and her kid, right? Like, so he kind of fits that specific mold, and he's charming in the way that John Cusack is very charming. Diane is interesting because she's valedictorian, so she's very smart. She's kind of like this nerdier type, right?
Mhm.
However, it does seem like a lot of people want to date Diane. Like we see her dad constantly taking phone calls from her suitors. So she
Mhm.
is not this like nerdy archetype, but she's also not the popular archetype because she doesn't really go to these house parties that Lloyd goes to, right? Like she's not really known to travel in those spheres. So she is both a nerd, also like seemingly untouchable popular girl, but not
Mhm.
in those circles, which I do think is kind of a strange mix, because normally if you have the nerd, they are the like undesirable nerd who has to get like what's the movie with Rachel, what's her face, the She's All That. She has to
Oh
get
yeah,
She's
yeah.
All Thatted, where she has to get like made over, right? She has to have the 90s makeover moment. But Diane doesn't really fall into that category. So I do think she's a bit of an enigma in that way. However, I feel like it would be hard to dislike any John Cusack character. I can't like provide, statistics and like scientific stuff on this, but he is so likable inherently that it would be hard to dislike a character he's playing. I do think we are a bit predisposed to dislike Diane because she's rich. She's like super smart, but doesn't have any friends. Like, I don't think we're really inclined to enjoy her right away.
Mhm.
I think her being with Lloyd makes her more likable almost immediately.
Yeah, the fact that she kind of is open to the concept of a Lloyd immediately kind of endears you to her. I think it's because she is. I mean, like, I think my standoffishness with her is just because she is the elusive unicorn. She's a hot nerd. Like she is Hermione Granger post makeover. Like she's all thatted already, but she hasn't had this like the social she's all thattedness. Or whatever the verbiage is of that. I kind of feel like the reason why I say that she's like a cookie cutter is because she is just the typical driven personality that is just going to ignore everyone and everything around her in pursuit of this goal of just being, really good. And it's like an often done trope in like film and TV is that you've got this kind of person who is so driven by excellence. I mean, I might be the Gilmore Girls of my watch at the moment, but I'm like, it's Paris. It's just I'm going to be
Right.
kind of like solely focused. The only difference is Paris is an awful human being, at least when we first meet her. Whereas
Right.
it seems that
Diane, people like Diane. Like
Yeah,
when she
she's
actually does go to
friendly.
the party, they do like her. They do enjoy her.
Mhm.
So I do think there is a difference there. I feel like what the movie is trying to tell us is that like her relationship with her father is just so above any other relationship she has in her life that it hinders every other relationship she does have, right? Like, she is so close with her father. Lloyd points it out right away, almost like in a way where he is envious because he doesn't have that relationship with either of his parents. And it's really interesting because I do think that ends up cutting both ways, where I think it puts up this wall between her and anyone else because her father's influence looms so large over her life, and she takes everything he has to say into consideration, and pretty much puts his opinion above everyone else's, to the point where she breaks up with Lloyd because of him, because he says to. So obviously that's going to ruin how we feel about Diane to a certain extent, right? Like, we're going to feel like, wow, this sucks. Like, she's really just taking her dad's side. However, watching this film as someone who is in my 30s, like, yeah, her dad is kind of right. He's a bad guy. He's a very bad guy. But she should go to England. Like, she should go to England and take this fellowship and like explore her options over there. She shouldn't be tying herself down to Lloyd, who's, I mean, again, love John Cusack. I do love him. I love him so much. But like, Lloyd has no plans. When you're asked, hey, what are your plans for the future? I don't think your answer should be your daughter. Like, that's it. What do you want to get into? Your daughter. Like, what are you doing? Like, no, it's so toxic. That can't be your everything.
But here's the thing, though. So this is where I think I'm probably going to empathize with him a little bit. It's like, did you have your life worked out when you were 19? Like, did you know
I thought
exactly
I
what
did.
you were going to... Well, yeah, you thought you
thought
did.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I think there's almost like, I think you're meant to empathize with Lloyd in the sense of like, oh, I'm a bit lost. I haven't quite got everything worked out. And so therefore it's a bit more like understandable, at least. Because I mean, I don't think this film, when it was written, is being pitched to people in their 30s. Like, it's being pitched to like teens. And I think every teen watching it is going, I don't know what I want to do. Lloyd is like, me and Lloyd, yeah, we get it.
And he knows
Whereas
too, right? Like, he says they're all stupid because they think they know what they want to do, but they really have no idea. They're saying one thing when he's talking to like the guidance counselor. He's like, they really don't actually know what they want. He's really wise in that way. Yeah. However, I still don't think the answer is like, I want to spend every waking second of my day with my partner, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the plan should be I have something in the motions to try and work out what I want to do. Like, I'm going to go off to college, I'm going to go off like overseas and study or something, or I'm going to take a job and just get the feelers for like the working world. It's that unknown of just, I'm kind of being pushed into the army and I don't like that. So it's like, well, that's not really an answer, Lloyd. Like, so I guess where we're coming from there. But I don't know, like, to have your entire life worked out at 19, I'm just like, that's back off. Like, go away.
It's too much to ask of any person. And obviously her dad is asking from like a very big place of privilege where like, you know, they have money, which breeds options, right? Like, it gives you options having all this money. He doesn't have that. He literally lives with his sister. His parents don't like want really much to do with him and are like advising he go into the army, which he doesn't know what he wants to do, but he knows he doesn't want to do that. And so it's, you know, he's really stuck in a very tricky situation. I do think like despite the fact that I think it's a little toxic that like he's so obsessed with her, only wants to spend time with her. His love is so pure and genuine that like you have to appreciate that, right? Like, there are some really lovely scenes. I think one of the, you know, the most iconic image is definitely the boombox moment. But I think one of the more iconic tropes that gets carried on from this movie is the like learning how to drive and like teaching your partner how to drive, especially stick shift. I feel like that's a big thing. Which you're in England, Stuart. So like, do you know how to, I know this is more of a common thing. Like, you don't have automatic cars, right? Or you did, but you do, but yeah.
We do have some, yeah, but they're not as common. And it's also generational. Like, the more and more electric cars come in, like, the less you need like a gear shift kind of thing. But yeah, I learned in a manual car. Like, it's not that complicated. It really isn't. I don't know
I
why
don't know how
Americans make it
to.
out to be the most complex thing in the world.
It's
like
scary. The noises that it makes when you're like
It
shifting
can-
sounds horrifying.
it can be, but you get so much more control over the acceleration. Like if you want to
Sure.
go, you can go. Like you don't have to wait for like the automaticness of it all to like kick in or whatever. Like I don't feel
Right.
like you get the responsiveness, but that's just something altogether. But like it really isn't. Like once you get the idea of like just balancing the two pedals, you're away, and it's only and it's not even like you're balancing two pedals. Like you're using one foot at all times. Well, actually, no, you're not.
You're using two, one for the clutch and one for the.
I'm talking out my ass. Yeah, you're using
Yeah.
both.
But that's
Yeah,
the thing,
so-
though, because if you were, because here, or at least around where I live, I should say, there are a lot of highways, and so like if you're driving a long distance, like when I go to my parents' camp, right, like it's like 2.5 hours, I want to be able to use cruise control. Like manual cars don't have cruise control. You can't cruise control. There is no cruise control.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just stick it in fifth and don't change your speed. Like easy peasy. It's easy.
Anyway, I've never learned. I always thought it was so romantic, though. Like it always seemed
It
so
is.
romantic to me.
There really is. Like the whole like they're teaching you a skill, and especially when they're not, because I'm not sure if like who taught you how to drive. Like, did you have like some school thing? I know some Americans have like
We have, so
it
there's
part of their
driver's
school.
ed, yes, but like my dad took me out first, and then I did do driver's ed later on, but that was mostly to get like a better price on car insurance. Like,
Did you end up
wasn't-
shouting at each other?
My dad? No. I was
Okay.
terrified the first time, and he did say to me, because in America we have like the yellow line is in the center and the white line is on the side, and he was like,
Weird.
you are so far like on the white line, because I was so scared when cars would come at me, I'd be like, ah, and like move more to the right, stay away from them. And I was going really slow, but like no, we didn't shout at each other. My mom always refused with my brother and myself. She wouldn't get in cars with us until we were like had already driven with my dad once, because she did the thing where she would like, the moment you come to a stop or like a turn, she'd like grab on to the side, which is like terrifying as the driver too, because you're like, what am I doing?
Not cool.
Yeah,
Not
my
cool.
mom's not the coolest cucumber around.
Yeah, I think there's always just that worry though that when people like teaching people how to drive and stuff, there's like it could just, I mean, it brings out the worst. I think in parent-child relationships of like the parent being like, "No, do this," and the child being like, "No, like I'm not going to take instructions." So like, so for Lloyd and Dan to do it, it's like quite romantic in a way, and especially like because he's a okay teacher, like he's kind of telling her exactly what she needs to do, and like he's being really encouraging with that, and it's not being too patronizing, being a little bit, but like I think you have to be when you're teaching someone. So like I think that's just a great memory to like come about. Probably good to have that memory and not the other memory from the car, which I have to talk about because it was just the most cringeworthy thing in the world.
This is a thing though, right? Where it's like, especially I think in the 80s and 90s, it was like you would drive to some like lookout point, like depending on, this takes place in Seattle, but like, there's California, there's like makeout spots or whatever. And you park the car and then you go have sex in the back seat. Like this was like a thing that is shown on movies constantly. The way they kiss was like, it was really bad.
It was just the mouse was just like, okay, of course they're kissing, the mouse are gonna be close, but when they're not actually kissing, it's too close. They're just like there, and he just licks her.
Licked inside her mouth, which was so gross. And here's the thing, they can kiss like well, like the chemistry was there in an earlier scene. There's a scene where they're like walking in like some really nice naturey moment, and she's wearing this white dress, and then this really romantic kiss that I thought was really beautiful. But the car kissing wasn't, and he's like sweaty, like there's like you could see the dribbles.
Well, he's just been blowing out her back in the back seat of his car. Like, of course he is.
But I don't need to see that. It's a film.
Well, exactly that. Yeah.
Make me think that's not how it is.
Oh, it was just too much. You say that like they could have good kisses elsewhere. Every time they kissed, I felt like John Cusack was about to eat her face. Like it was very kind of like open mouthed and like, oh. Like,
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well,
no.
Speaking of, so I don't know if of course I read the IMDb of every film I ever watch. And there was like this interesting tidbit about Ione, I think her name is, Skye, who plays Diane, and John Cusack talking about like, oh, they had never like actually dated in real life because in the film they were both attached to other people at the time. But apparently she came out with a memoir just this year saying that while that was true during filming, they did get together years later after she got a divorce in 99. And apparently she said she had to get it like out of her system because she had this like big crush on John Cusack. And apparently after John Cusack read a draft of her memoir, he said, "You made the experience sound so meh. It wasn't meh for me."
Oh.
And she had said like a lot of their chemistry came from working together, not sleeping together, and that she like felt bad afterwards at what she said. But I just thought that was really interesting because they do have good like on-screen chemistry in terms of not necessarily the kissing, but like the interactions, right? Like,
They do,
you know,
yeah.
because like a bad rom-com has bad chemistry. Like the actors don't have chemistry, and I don't think you can argue they have bad chemistry in this movie.
No, they do have good chemistry. I think it's just the story that gets in the way and makes it a bit clunky at times. But the two of them, when they're on screen together, they kind of like, it fits. Like, I can always imagine them being together. Like, I don't ever feel like one's punching and one's not. Like, I kind of feel like they look the part when they're together. They seem really comfortable as well. It's interesting that, I mean, I love when castmates like get together in real life, like from a film.
Yeah.
Like I know there's something about me that really kind of get wrapped up with that. Oh, that's really romantic. Like, but then you do get the other half of it where it's like the Brad and Angelina thing, and you're like, oh, well, that's leading to a divorce, which is a bit dodgy. But I like the whole like holding a candle for someone for that long and having a crush and being like, well, I've got to get this out of my system, and then also to write about it afterwards and to have a really good relationship where he's like, oh, you made it sound meh. That was good.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I like that whole situation. I just when it's good like that, I think was it Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford where she did the same thing, where like they banged during the whole Star Wars thing, and in her memoir she revealed that like they had. And I
were
think
they with like other people at the time or no?
I don't think they were with other people at the time. No.
Oh, well, that's
I think
good.
It was just, yeah. If I remember rightly, it's been a while since I read Carrie
Saucy.
Fisher's bio, but yeah, wild. But yeah, castmates do it all the time, and I reckon this might be like a recurring thing when we get to these rom-coms, because surely if you've got chemistry on screen, maybe it just leads you to questions like, "Oh, this works really well. Why?"
Yeah. So I do think they have good chemistry, but the car scene is very cringy.
Cringe.
And one of the other cringy things that not to sound like an old, but kids these days, they don't have to worry about literally calling someone who is their crush and asking them out and having to talk to their parent. Now, I will fully admit I am like a cuspy generational person where it was like, if I was really young, I would have had to do this. By the time I was in high school, people were starting to get cell phones, and I was a bit of a late bloomer in the dating department, so I wasn't really doing this because I didn't really call crushes to talk to them on the phone. But I remember calling my friends and having to be like, hey, can I talk to so-and-so? Like, that's what Lloyd has to do. And we see like the dad taking down messages from all of these suitors. And I was like, I am Lloyd, like pacing in the bathroom, like so nervous, so anxious watching the scene, you know?
I love that. I mean, yeah, because I'm a smidge older than you. I'm not going to say how much. I'm not going to like reveal that. But yeah, the whole calling up a crush is just too relatable, and just begging that they answer, and then inevitably their parents answer. Because like we start getting like mobiles as well, but like call costs back in the day, jeez, like you had to use the parents' line.
You had to use the landline. Yeah, we couldn't text. Like I didn't have texting until I was like out of high school. So you certainly, well, I mean, some people did, but I didn't. So like you couldn't just text someone. Like you could go on AIM, right? But like, yeah, it's a very different
wasn't the same.
No, it was a very different time. And I loved it.
I love that you were an AIM user. We were MSN Messenger over here, and the whole nudging and your whole screen would shake. And all
I
the
can
stupid
still
crap
hear
like
the
that.
the door closing and opening when like people would come online or go offline on AIM. There was like a specific noise. You don't know what I'm talking about. It was just like the noise of like a door slamming shut if someone signed off, and like a door opening if someone signed on.
I just remember the message tone of just bum
Yeah.
bum over and over again, and all the people like changing their little screen names to something like either a lyric from a song that was like trying to convey their
that was
true
your like
emotions.
away message. Yeah, like it's like no one talk to me now. Ugh.
Yeah.
And it's like so fraught.
Appearing offline, appearing online, appearing offline, appearing on. Yeah, that's
so
stupid,
ridiculous.
dumb politics. Kids will never understand how hard it was back. Like,
no, it was a rough
being
time.
a millennial growing up with the internet. Like, this is before, so like OnlyPhones, I think is somewhat better because you don't have that cusp of like, you know, initiating things over text or like messenger kind of thing, and then having to follow it up with like a phone call as well. Like, we had an alternative, but then we still had to rely on the phone call. But if you were just phone calling all the time, I imagine you would have been a bit more accustomed to it, which is probably why Lloyd is actually really chill with it and like kind of seems, I mean, he's a bit nervous, obviously.
He's nervous, but he's good because he's charming. Like he's just able to do it. And he psychs himself up, right? With the like boxing. He's very into kickboxing. This is like a huge part of his
sport of the future.
Sport of the future. I will say I did enjoy the relationship with the little nephew with the little mullet.
Oh, adorable.
Yeah. So good. Obviously, Joan Cusack, an icon, a legend. Nepotism. I don't care. Hire her. You know, put her in everything. I won't complain.
Exactly.
Won't find me complaining. So yeah, they were very cute. But Diane breaks things off, right? Like she gave me a pen, the whole situation. Then, like, when she actually gets confirmation that her father sucks, like, she actually finds all this cash, realizes he's been lying to her, that, like, he actually is a bad guy and he did all these bad things. It's like she doesn't have anybody because, again, she doesn't really have any close friends. And so she runs to Lloyd. And, like, I couldn't believe they actually put this in the film where he's like, oh, are you coming to me because you need someone or because you need me? And then he thinks about it for 0.2 seconds and says, I don't care.
I hated this.
Yeah.
Like, full on was so angry. Because I was like, Lloyd, I've just lost all respect for you in this, like, one moment. Yeah. And the fact that she doesn't even go to answer it by the way in which it's at least filmed or at least written, it seems, means that we know the answer. Like, she's not as into him as he's into her. But he's willing to settle like that, which just not good look at all. I felt so bad for him, like especially because he just had a bloody nose as well. He was like clearly not having a great day. Oh, this was a bad, right?
It was really bad. It was really, really bad because his instinct is correct. She does need someone, and again, this isn't saying anything negative about their relationship, right? Like it did seem like they had a pretty solid relationship. They had really good chemistry. They, despite their differences, they worked well together. However, it does feel like she just does need someone. It doesn't necessarily have to be him. And that's unfortunate.
A daddy. Like she's not looking for a boyfriend. She's looking for someone to love. She's looking for someone to look after her. That's not
it's not good. And the worst part is, right, like, I feel like they each have what the other needs in a way that is, again, I'm very much like two halves don't make a whole. Like, you should be a whole person on your own and then be in a relationship. Obviously, that's easy to say as, like, someone in my 30s, and, like, it's more difficult to actually have happen when you are so young. But he has no real motivation or career aspirations, but he has friends. He has like this charm. He has the personability. She has all of the drive in the world and like a kind of set future, right? She knows what she wants to do, or at least what she has plans to do, probably set by her father. But she doesn't have this like support system except for her father, who then is going to jail and is going to be around. So, and lied to her basically. So they have what each other needs, but not in a way that one can't fix the other. Like, you know, like she also needs to have her own friends, and he also needs to have a career aspiration, or again, some idea, or at least trying something, right? Like trying to do something. He talks about like, oh yeah, I had this one job, but like watching the old people eat like grossed me out. It was chewed with their mouth open, and I'm like, I get it, Lloyd. I get it. But it's one can't fix the other. And so ultimately it feels like this relationship is a bit doomed to fail. I thought it was interesting that the way they end the movie was them getting on the plane and they're like, oh, the no smoking, you just have to wait for the no smoking sign. Once the no smoking sign comes on, like everything will be okay. And you do hear the ding.
Sweet gesture.
Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and the ding is meant to be this kind of like old, like, I guess, quite hammy way of saying, oh, everything's going to be all right. Not only in the plane, but also, you know, the story going forward as we cut to black. A little cringy and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of found it quite sweet in a way. I in a way that I was there going, this is awful, but I kind of love it. I did enjoy that.
It was really nice. Like, as someone who has pretty bad travel anxiety, not about flying specifically, just the whole process of it, having him be like so supportive and so kind and lovely I just really enjoyed. He's always so supportive of her. You can tell he just adores her. That's not a bad thing. It's just like, you know, as like jaded cynics in our 30s, we're just like, this ain't gonna last. It's just like, this ain't gonna go very far.
And this is probably going to be a recurring thing for anything that is like high school set, is that you kids, and this does come with that horrible kind of judgment of age. It's just like, I mean, with that comes, you know, knowing experiences that like not every relationship that starts out really young always works out. Like, I think they're really like diamonds in the rough, those kind of relationships, and they really are kind of true love situations, or maybe just people are settling. But I mean, don't let me judge your relationship. I mean, but I feel like, oh gosh, I just feel like both of them are settling and not really exploring their true worlds. Like, I love that anecdote about them actually shacking up later in life, because I kind of feel like if Lloyd and Diane did that in this story, I'd be all here for it, because they've gone off, they've explored other avenues, they've kind of like tested the waters of things, they know themselves, and yet they come back together. I think that's more romantic than being together from day dot.
There needs to be more romantic comedies about people in their like 30s and 40s. There's so many rom-coms about young people, and it's like, it's not realistic. I mean, listen, every relationship has it's not a failure just because a relationship ends, right? Like, you learn something, you know, the timing may not work out, whatever. But like, there needs to be more rom-coms about people like finding each other later on, after they've like had a whole life and after they've figured things out. Not that we ever figure things out, but you know.
I mean, a little bit, a smidge more than like what you would when you're in high school. I feel like everyone knows a little bit more than what they did then. I love it. It's just the most like, it's just the coldest take of more films about people our age and our experiences.
Exactly. Stupid young kids. Anyway, the other thing that this film I think is interesting for is that it's Cameron Crowe's directorial debut as well. Which is like, wow. Yeah. It's kind of wild to think about.
Kind of strong, I think. I mean, there's like a number of like, I think about like the complexity of like this, because there's a lot of throwaway shots that they clearly just set up for filmed and then just had there as almost like set pieces of like these montage scenes and stuff like that. It's like, that's an incredible amount of work to actually like go and do, especially with, you know, like sort of this cast of like having them to just like play throughout all these montage scenes. I always think about montages of just like, okay, it's a lot of with for a short bit of like costuming, set design, and everything like that. So I always appreciate that. There's a hell of a lot of montages in this film, with like, a lot of time passing and things.
People love the 80s and 90s montage,
I mean, they're so good. I mean, why tell a long story when you tell a short story? For a long period of time. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And we'll have to make note of the fact that it's also set in Seattle, which like, you know, we have
not enough rain.
There was one big rain scene, but not enough
big rain,
throughout.
but not enough. I mean, totally lied. I thought Seattle just constantly rained based on everyone's assumptions about
From
it.
what I've understood, it's a lot of drizzle a lot of the time. A lot of mist and drizzle. But yeah, we'll have to keep track of like what's the most romantic city, because a lot of New York movies, a lot of California movies, a couple Seattle films that I can think of, but I feel like Pacific Northwest underrepresented in movies a lot of the time.
All right, we'll track that. I want to track tropes, so I feel like we've got Rain Down as that. She's all that. Back of the car. I think that's got to definitely go on.
Back of the car.
Like,
yeah.
Back of the car. That's definitely going on there. Yeah, I feel like this is kind of like hit a load of like the cliches.
Parent doesn't accept new romantic partner.
Yeah.
Big
Parent
one.
goes to jail for tax fraud. Yeah.
Such a big trope. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Do you know what's really funny is I before we started recording this, I kind of jumped onto IMDb as well, because I was like, oh, the dad's got this like really great voice, and I was like, it's really familiar to me, and I realized it's the fucking dad from Frasier, and I didn't put two and two together, and was like,
I have never Frasiered before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's
and I just don't have the want to because of who Frasier is now.
Yeah.
But I do think I would have liked it if I would have watched it in its time.
Yeah, certainly with most things comes with a bit of like a time judgment. Is that like at the time some great writing, and yeah, one of the rare things where a spin-off is probably better than the OG.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a real rarity these days. But yeah, when I saw that, it was like, oh god, it's him. That's why he's so familiar.
His face did look familiar to me. Now that you say that, I mean, I didn't watch Frasier, but I know of it, so that would make sense as to why he did look familiar to me.
Yeah.
But John Mahoney is the actor's name.
Yeah, I felt like there were a load of actors in this, like kind of that had kind of like oddly recognizable faces, like Ione Skye. I was like, I've seen her in things before. Turns out, no, I haven't. She's not in.
No, but the rest of the cast, right? Like Corey. Lloyd's best friend is played by Lily Taylor, which we need to spend at least 2 seconds talking about her obsession with her ex-boyfriend Joe. The fact that she wrote like 60 something songs about him.
Never be me. Never be me. I mean, it's so easy to write 65, 67 or however many songs it is when the lyrics are just one line over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Joe cries when he lies. So shit.
So good. It was so good. It was so bad. It was so it was just painful.
I feel like we're going to be saying this a lot on this podcast. It's so good. It's so good. It's so bad.
Yeah.
All the other way around. Like it's gonna work.
It was a lot. It was a lot. So yeah, her obsession with Joe was so good. But yeah, Lily Taylor is another one. There's like a lot of random faces that just like appear in this movie, like Jeremy Piven as like the friend Mark, Gregory Sporleader. I don't know what I've seen him in, but I definitely know his face.
Jeremy Piven, that was. Oh my god, it was. Holy crap.
Oh, yeah, Phoebe Newworth also. She's the guidance counselor. The Boston Evelyn Skellington Days.
No.
Yes.
The aunt from Jumanji, I think you'll find, is her actual role.
Also that. Yeah. So a lot of famous faces in this film, actually. But okay. Anything else we want to discuss before we get into some of our side things here?
American schools and this whole like kind of, because I feel like my school's a rarity. We had yearbooks, which I think is a real Americanism that we've kind of like stolen.
Yeah, we have yearbooks
over here because I've never known of yearbooks. Up until my school was like, we should have, because my high school was a new school, so there was only 1 year ahead of me. So when it came out, like we were kind of making the rules up as we went along, and so of course we took media influence from all of these films. So we were like, we want a prom, we want a yearbook and stuff like that, and thus ended up having them. Did you get all yours signed by everyone? Did you get nicer messages than "we wish we knew you"?
No. So Sarah and I always joke about this over on Shit 90 Shows Taught Me with yearbooks. Like if it was your friend, if it was someone you were really close with, they got like a prime spot. It was like, I get this page. Like I will write,
wow.
I will fill the page. Then you had friends where you were like, we're close, you're in my friend's circle, but we're not like best friends. And they'd get like a good chunky paragraph. And then you would get people who you like are acquaintances with, who you know, but like you're not friends with. And you'd get like hags. Have a good summer. Like that's all you'd get, like hags. Like you wouldn't get anything else. Just hags. And that's how you know you weren't actually friends, is if you got hags.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I had someone, she was a really good friend, but her picture was, I mean, most of our pictures were all awful. But she spent most of hers just going around to everyone saying, "Can I sign your yearbook? Take it." And then she just scribble out her face on it. And she was like, "I hate that picture so much."
We would definitely like mustaches and devil horns on like people we didn't like. Yeah. You were a real nerd if you asked like teachers to sign your yearbook. Like you were a real nerd. Yeah. I did.
What if you got friends and teachers?
Then you're still a real nerd.
Oh, we all got
such
our
a
teachers
loser.
to sign ours.
Such a loser. Yeah, no. Unless you were like, and I guess there's one exception. If they were like a cool teacher and like you were a senior or something and you were going to graduate like that year, and you know, like that's a little maybe.
Yeah, we had so we had a form tutor who was like our teacher through like 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, for like 4 of like the main years of like high school. And yeah, I remember when we on our last day and stuff, we actively went hunting for her because we were like, we hadn't seen her all day and stuff because she wasn't teaching us in our like last thing. So she had a different class. And so we went and found her, and she was so touched by the fact that we came to see her, she burst out crying the moment she saw us all, and then it was just like, ah! And we were like, yeah, sign the book, stop crying.
That's cute. That's
and then
cute.
we found out that she'd shacked up with another teacher. We were all like cheering from the sidelines.
Yes, nice. Love that for her.
So
incredible.
Stupid.
Okay, well, let's get into some of the segments we have here for this podcast. These might change as time goes on, but we'll see. I do have some like graphics, which should also be fun. For the first one, it's called "You Had Me at ... and it is intended to be the most like romantic moment, the best grand gesture of the film, maybe your favorite moment, you know. And for this one, I feel like it is the most iconic thing from the movie. It is the reason I picked this film to start us off. And it is the Boombox Over the Head, Playing in Your Eyes by Phil Collins, which is such a song. And the fact that it is also the song they both like lose, I assume they're losing their virginities. But the fact that they have sex for the first time to this song is also just so funny to me that he is that holding the boombox.
He remembers it, like he's trembling in that moment from like, I don't know, whether it's nerves actually being cold or whatever like that. And she's like, oh, listen to this song, it's a good song. And he remembers that because he listens to everything she says. He's not just out to like bang her in the back of the car. Like he actually cares about what she's saying. She's a complex person. He actually acknowledges that. Yeah, that's an iconic moment, certainly. I've gone for a different one though.
Okay, great.
I've gone for, because if we talk about like the romantic moment, I'm gonna go to the plane for me, and the whole. Even though I found it like quite sickly sweet, I just thought the whole talking her through everything was just quite nice, and just quite good. Even if the end was really, drama school kind of writing. It's just, everything will be okay when the ding, and then it fades back and ding. It's like, ugh. But yeah, I thought that him talking her through it was just like quite lovely. Although Phil Collins is somewhat ruined for me a little bit. I had a friend at university who hated Phil Collins with a passion, and every time we went to like a charity shop or a flea market, as you might call them, or whatever, and we found like old Phil Collins records, we'd buy them on the cheap for her so that she could break them. And I've never seen someone have so much joy than smashing a Phil Collins record.
Did they like? Why do they hate Phil Collins so much? Like, I mean,
don't know.
He has some good ones, But okay.
I've never been a huge Phil Collins fan, but I feel like Phil Collins is either you really love him or you like a bit meh on him. Like, I don't think
he has a good couple ones. I don't know. Okay, great. So the plane at the end, I've put down for you. Our next segment, the meet cute, or meet creep meter. This can be hard for me to say. I can see it already. Meet cute or meet creep meter. And for this one, I have a graphic.
Custom graphics.
Custom tiers. Now, here's the thing, Stuart. Here's the struggle now we're going to have is that, I originally was like, oh, we only need, one. We need the one. But now I'm like, what are we going to do? Because there's two characters. So are we smushing them together? Is it the overall romance or what are we doing?
You're wanting to rate character by character or just the whole thing? That's
the thing. So the way this looks, if you're only watching the if you're not watching us on YouTube, which you should be, but if you're not, it's fine. The way this is we have a tier system here where we have the meet cute or meet creep meter. We have soulmate status being the top tier, green flags galore. We can fix them, maybe. I'm getting the ick and red flag city. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, do we just say the romance as a whole? Where it falls?
The romance as a whole,
okay.
I think the two of them combined and their whole dynamic. Really. Because if we were to judge them individually, I think we could get some real variance of ratings. And I think a relationship. What is a relationship? The coming together of two people, or more if you're into that. So I feel like we should judge it on that. In which case, this makes I think a little bit tougher to rank, right?
That's the thing, because I think, okay, if we're talking green flags, red flags, right? Like green for Lloyd is just I feel like he's so loving. He really is very giving and generous. Champion. Yeah, he's very supportive of her. He doesn't really he never tries to keep her from going to England, which is big, right? So that's good. On the red flag side for him, it's a little smothery. It's a little too much. It's a little extra. The fact that he's trying to sneak into a photo with her in the beginning of the film is also very cringy and bad and borderline stalkerish. So that's not great. I would consider that a red flag. And the fact that he doesn't really have career aspirations, I'd say is more of a yellow flag because he's still so young. Who knows what they want to do at that point in their life,
I feel like we can forgive him for being a young guy.
Yeah.
It's just a bit dopey and whatever. I forgot about the photo bit. That was
so bad. It's so bad. Great. It's so bad.
Then saying that he's also got some great green flags, when he calls up her dad and talks and it ends it by just going, she's really great, isn't she? I'm sorry, how the hell do you win over a parent like that in just one sentence? It was just immediately he was like, oh yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Great way to stop the overbearing parent because of course you just bond over the fact that you love their kid. Fantastic. So I feel like that should give him a point up a little bit, but then he brings himself down by saying, I don't care whether you're here for someone or me.
Yeah. And the fact that she obviously is there just for someone, not necessarily for him, also brings it down a little bit. I think that she obviously really likes him. I don't think she really ever gets on his case about what do you want to do with your life? What is your future? She's not really like that. Her dad more so is. So, and then we also have a little bit of the red flag of she really, really takes to heart what her dad says and breaks up with him. Again, she's young, so I think we can forgive some of that. I don't know. I feel like I am currently leaning in the we can fix them maybe. Just because we said, if they found each other later in life sort of a thing, we could see that working out, right?
Yeah, I think all it takes is for maybe, I don't know, a gentle guiding hand from someone older and wiser, perhaps his older sister, to be like, Lloyd, get yourself together here and stuff like that. Have some self-respect. Push her for that answer. Maybe take a break from her. Let her go to England and then see if it works out afterwards. I think small little nudges like that could really help this. So I think we can fix them. I think we've outlined how we can fix them, certainly.
Yeah. I think so. We're in the average tier currently. We're in the middle tier for this couple, which I think is a great start. I think that's a perfect start for honestly for this. So we can fix them. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't feel like we. I think it's fair to say that I don't think we've had the ultimate romance in our opening film.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll find it in the rest of them because I don't know. I'm skeptical. But we'll see.
Listen, there's yeah. We'll see. You never know. Okay. Now our next category here is best in show Mance, which is essentially what I'd like to do is this is how we're going to keep track of our overall enjoyment of these films. So if you're looking at our screen here, if you're watching us on YouTube, you'll see a lovely little bar graph I have made. And we're each going to get a score. We don't have to agree. I think that is like the lovely business is that we can disagree on what we think. And I would love for this to be a score from 0 to 10. I will tell you, I have made bars already and they're by half point. But if it is in your heart to do it like a 1.4 or whatever, like, do whatever you want.
Wait, Jess, you've gone to the extra effort of adding in half points.
Look at them all.
My God. The first time I think we ever podcasted, I was invited on to podcast about a Succession episode. And I will remember the absolute horror of me saying, yeah, I'd like to give it like maybe a 3.5 or a 4.5. And then you and Josh, both on the podcast, went, oh, well, Jess is going to hate this.
Yeah. Listen,
amazing.
I like easy measurements. I am very much a 0.5 fan, but when you're going from 1 to 10 or 0 to 10, I suppose, it's nice to kind of have those half points to play with. So, I haven't yet rated this actually myself. Do you want to go first? Do you have an inkling of what you would like to give this on a score of 0 to 10? This film overall.
This is a toughie because I feel like, much like we did with season 1 of Schitt's Creek, I feel like we're setting the bar here of what is an acceptable level, I guess. Because I think everything, for me at least, is always going to be measured against what we've previously rated.
Yes.
So in that regard, I don't want to go too high. I don't have the nostalgia kick for this as well, which is also going to possibly make this a little bit tougher as well. But then equally, I had a good time. There was some like banger lines in this. Like I don't think I've laughed more than when obviously Corey is going on and on about Joe, and
her entire bedroom is covered in photos of him also.
And then when he eventually turns up, he's just this guy. Like, there's nothing spectacular about Joe, nothing unfortunate about him, but there's nothing just like overly special. And then when they actually get talking, he just goes, "Have sex with me." Oh, it was so,
he's a dirtbag,
so
that Joe.
Funny. Like the whole opening thing, I'd say like if I was to take it just on the opening, I think I'd rate the whole thing much, much higher. I think it just dips when the romance comes into it, which is not a great sign for rom-com. So I'm thinking, I don't know. Oh, is this going to be too harsh? 6.5?
6.5. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. What about
Our
you?
first score. I don't think that's harsh at all, actually. I thought you were going to be lower. I thought you were going to come in like 4.
I mean, I can do.
And funnily enough, I actually was thinking of giving it a 6.5. And I think it's I might bump it to a 7 just from I think it affects a lot of movies going forward. Like I think it really kind of sets the tone for rom-coms. Like it really does like we have okay. The things it has going for it, I think there's chemistry between the two leads. John Cusack is so charming. Like he's so supremely charming. I also like that both of these characters are fairly normal, right? Like neither one of them are like insanely beautiful, gorgeous, and like unattainable, right? Like they do kind of seem like normal people. I think the rest of the cast is pretty fun. Like we get some interesting other characters. The Corey bit will never not absolutely kill me with her obsession with Joe. Her singing, all of it is so funny. And I do think like the romance works. I think it doesn't have some of the really big red flags of like he wants her not to go to England. She's pressuring him about his future. It misses those tropes, which I like. I like that we don't have those. So I think I'm going to give it a 7 just because I do think it's a strong start. I will color these to differentiate them. I promise. I do think it's a strong start for this experiment here. So I'm going to go with a 7.
Yeah, I think you nailed it in the sense of like this this film introduces like an iconic scene. Like the boombox thing, I think is hard to really downplay. And I know that we dwelled on it a little bit, but I think that there is a real importance of it in terms of how it frames rom-coms going forward. That's grand gesture of just like when things are just awful, of just doing that. Now the problem is that so many rom-coms in the future take that as being like that will fix everything.
Yes.
And what they don't learn from this film is that she doesn't immediately jump into his arms because of it. It's that and a number of other things that makes her realize that he actually does love her and care for her and is a good fit for her. But she is shackled by obviously the direction from her father and the whole situation with that, that she doesn't. Whereas I think future ones would be like grand gesture, fixes everything, everyone's happy ever after, which is a bad thing to take from it. But that thing, certainly, like everyone wanted the big boombox moment for their film afterwards. And so this one nailed it. And so for that, I feel like you have to reward it, which is why I'm not going to change my 6.5, even though you've given it a 7. And I feel like generally 6.5 and 7 is maybe a bit too high on it on reflection, but I'll deal with it.
I just think it's like, again, like you said, it's tough because we're just going into it. It's the first one. It's gonna kind of set the tone in a way, and that puts us in a little bit of a tough spot. But I like these scores. I think these work. And those are our categories that we have. So we'll be tracking all of those every week, and I'm excited to see this bar graph fill out. I love a bar graph. I had a really fun time making these graphics for really no. I made one of them while I was watching the movie too, because I was just enjoying myself so much. But yeah, now let's get into some feedback for the week. We did get an email from Jen that says, well, if it couldn't be Parks and Rec, the next best thing is a great rom-com podcast. As a rom-com connoisseur, I can't wait to listen along to all the new shenanigans you two will get up to. Mostly, I'm just happy you're continuing on. And then Jen gave us some really incredible recommendations throughout the decades. So for the 80s, When Harry Met Sally, of course, because it's the GOAT. I'm not disagreeing with you, Jen. I adore When Harry Met Sally. Princess Bride, which I think counts. It does count.
100% counts. It was on our list.
As you wish. It definitely counts. In the 90s, Strictly Ballroom. Can't Hardly Wait, which doesn't totally hold up, but it's a fun ride. I feel like Can't Hardly Wait. I feel like you were either like a Can't Hardly Wait person or an American Pie person. And I was an American Pie person. So I've seen Can't Hardly Wait, but it wasn't like on my rotation.
I've never heard of this film, and I'm just looking it up now.
Yeah.
Even the poster looks like American Pie.
Yeah. They came out,
weird.
I feel like, decently close together.
Never love you. Love her. But anyway,
The Wedding Singer, also somewhat problematic. Get it together, 90s. Listen, the 90s had a time, and I love The Wedding Singer. Pride and Prejudice, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, 13 Going on 30, Midnight in Paris, despite the Woody Allen of it all. I've never seen Midnight in Paris.
I've never seen a single Woody Allen film.
And then from the 2020s, Free Guy, which counts in my book. I don't think have I seen Free Guy? I don't remember. Let's see. Let me Google this one.
Ryan Reynolds?
Oh, I think I have. Oh, hold on. Hey, Will, have I seen Free Guy? Have we watched Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds one? No? We did? Yeah, no, we did. We did watch this.
I love treating Will like Wikipedia.
He'll know if I've seen a movie more than I will. I don't know if I've seen it. So apparently I have seen it. I don't really remember it, but there it is. Wishing you both as much joy as you bring to all of us, Jen. Okay, that is like so supremely
That's so sweet.
I love that so much. So yeah, Jen, we will just say some of these are on our list of potentials. So perhaps you'll be seeing them, and maybe we can always add some. We can make our own rules. We've long said this is our podcast, and we'll do whatever we want.
Exactly. I have not picked any of mine. Like I'm going into each of them. Like I will pick in the moment of what I'm feeling, and what I feel is going to possibly be a good compliment to what we've just watched or whatever. Whenever it's my pick. So yeah, so I love it. Keep sending them in, and you might influence it.
I agree with you completely, because I feel the same way. I haven't picked anything set in stone. I have like inklings of what I might choose, but it's also going to depend on what we've already covered, and maybe I'm feeling like we're filling some gaps or whatever else. So yeah. And I think that's all the feedback. We did get a comment on the YouTube channel, which made me happy. I'm really happy you're continuing the podcast. I was not expecting this, but your next podcast but I'm really liking the idea. Can't wait to watch along. That was from Delta 9869. Nice. Okay. And I think that's the feedback we have. Keep sending it in. You had meatpod@gmail.com. And that's meat, MEAT.
I hate this thing. I hate it so much. I'm gonna have to accept it.
It's better than you had me at pod. Like when I'm writing out the whole, I'm saying the whole thing. You had meat pod,
Meat pod.
They could be our little meat podlings or little, little meat
meaties.
Little meaties.
No.
Stuart, are you ready to tell us what you have picked for next week for our next?
Am I ready to pick? Is what you actually should be saying.
Sorry. Are you ready to actually pick live on the podcast?
Yes, I am. I was thinking about this the whole way through. I'm intrigued, obviously, by the difference of the schooling systems between the UK and the US, and I'm intrigued to see perhaps one of the weirder representations of the schooling systems of the US. I'm going to go with one that I've seen already, but I love.
Okay.
I'm going to go with 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes!
I want some
yes,
Alison Janney writing a weird sex novel. I want Julie Stiles and I want Heath Ledger. Pump it into my veins. It's a great film. I feel like this has both great green flags, but also a tremendous amount of red flags.
Yes.
And also a bit of Shakespeare. Let's get educated, people.
It's so good. I hate peas. Like, it's just so good. I love this movie. Kitty cat. It's so good. I love this movie so much. This was definitely on my rotation of 90s classic rom-coms that I watched. I adored Heath Ledger. Like when I was a young little preteen and I dreamed of getting my first kiss, it was at a paintball thing because of Heath Ledger. Like literally because of him. I can't wait. I want to quote the entire film right now. I'm so excited. So that'll be really, really fun for next week. I cannot wait to talk about that movie. And we're going to have more than one relationship actually to, I think, kind of discuss here.
Exactly.
So that'll be interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, send in your feedback. You had me at pod@gmail.com. You have 2 weeks. We're not recording for, well, let's see. Get your feedback in by the 19th is probably like a little early on the 19th, maybe the 18th.
Yeah. Send
in your feedback by then if you want it to be heard on the podcast. So you have a week and a half to get that done.
Yeah, plenty of time to go watch the film, obviously, to give people a bit more time to like watch in between these episodes. Give us a bit of time to like formulate our thoughts on it as well. And yeah, give up the relentless week-on-week podcasting that was talking shit.
Yeah, relentless. We're no longer relentless. The other thing is, Stuart, is I didn't write in what we're doing to sign off, so now I don't know what to do.
We are flying without a parachute right now.
What are we doing? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna say?
I mean, we can still stick with the old one.
Best wishes and warmest regards, but that's not. I guess we can temporarily. Maybe maybe listeners should send what we should say.
Yeah.
Is there like an iconic ending to a rom? Oh, like I'll have what she's having. Like, I don't know, like a thing. I don't know.
Wait. How about I give you my heart and you give me a pen?
Okay, there you go. Maybe we change it. Maybe we change it every time to fit rom-com. That sounds like a lot of work. I don't know that I want to do that. Yeah. Okay. I mean, like, listen, Stuart, I gave you my heart.
And I'm giving you this goodbye. Get out of there.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.